Well, you know, I'd like to introduce our speaker this morning, and I'm honored to do that. He is one of, and added to the list of distinguished guests that we're going to be having come to speak with you, and that's Mr. Dorian Mullens. First and foremost, Mr. Mullens is a 1987 graduate of Cheyenne High School. He then went on to earn an industrial engineering degree from Western Michigan University and an MBA in corporate finance and international trade from the University of Buffalo. His career highlights include becoming a partner at Welsey Industries, and it was through his leadership that he helped this company grow from 9 people and 100,000 in sales to 900 people and 130 million in annual sales. And knows a thing or two about growing a business. Welsey Industries has been recognized as one of the most successful minority business enterprises in the automotive industry. And at the core of their strategy was a concept that was counterintuitive to the industry. They vertically integrated their processes as opposed to keeping an outsourced type system. They brought things in-house. And it was that strategy that helped fuel their growth. He's been an owner or chief executive officer for 7 different companies in industries ranging from automotive manufacturing, insurance, and energy. Having held a top position for multiple companies, he understands what it takes to be an effective leader. And as you heard yesterday, he too has taken steps to improve the working conditions for his people. And he did it because it was the right thing to do. Today, Mr. Mullens is the owner and managing partner of Level 1 Insurance Company, which provides all types of insurance to businesses. Now, a few days ago, I had a chance to sit down with Mr. Mullens, and I asked him, "What do you do for a living?" And after a short pause, he said, "I'm a serial entrepreneur." A serial entrepreneur. Which means he loves creating new businesses or reinventing existing ones. Mr. Mullens is a very bright, creative, and energetic individual. And he has the emotional intelligence, the intangible that Mr. Harvard was talking about yesterday. The book smarts and the people smarts. He has tremendous courage. He's not afraid to take risks. And someone for whom I have a tremendous amount of respect. Please help me welcome our guest this morning, Mr. Mullens.
Good morning, Shrine. It's still a little sleep. Good morning, Shrine. All right. Can't thank you for the kind words. I actually want to be in my speech anymore. Let's do this. I want this to be a little interactive. Can I get the back wall? Let's pull these seats here. Just come in as early. I'm surprised to see all you guys here this morning. Just I promise to go by and do some open work today. Now, while you guys are moving, I want to practice a couple things. I have canned speeches that I normally provide when I go to colleges and I talk to their MBA programs because I threw it out on the last time. I wanted this to be really interactive. I wanted to go ahead and provide the students, you guys, with something meaningful and tangible that you actually do want to do. All right, so there's going to be a couple rules of engagement for there. One, try to stay away. I will go ahead and ask questions and make sure that you're not snoring expecting the words for how I provide them, because what's going to happen is, again, I'm going to go ahead and talk high level, get writing analogies, but I'm going to go ahead and edit it all. And we'll hold all our questions towards the end. Fair enough? Fair enough? All right, good. When I was asked to talk about perseverance, I was a little bit paused. So given my history and given my background here at Shrine, I can easily talk about perseverance. But again, I think that's each other. Perseverance, from my perspective, was black youth growing up in Detroit, born in New York. I went down to Pennsylvania. I struggled here at Shrine. I was a below average student. When I say below average, I was at the bottom 2% of my graduating class. I was told by my counselors, don't go to school, get a skills trade, save your parents the money, the time, the effort. I went to college even before that. I skipped the plan. I was even diagnosed with a reading disability. I applied for over 7 colleges, got denied. Got a contingency acceptance at Western Michigan University. So I think I'm a little qualified to talk about the perseverance. And as we talk, I'm going to have to write that part of that down. Ignore all that other stuff, right? So I need notes, and I'm going to go ahead and talk from notes, but as well as go ahead and talk to you. I can go on about my perseverance. Why can we talk about some great individuals that are familiar and well known in terms of their perseverance? Einstein was 4 before he was 3. We do know who Albert Einstein was, right? You know, Thomas Edison, he told me he was so stupid that he couldn't learn anything. Michael Jordan was cut from his basketball high school team. Walt Disney, the great creator, was told that he had no creative imagination and wouldn't out to be anything. A singer by the name of Luther Vandross actually went to Western Michigan University, applied for music scholarship, told that he was not talented enough to go ahead and earn a music scholarship. But that's not what we're discussing today. Now, here's where you take the pencil together. I want to provide some real-life lessons of perseverance. I want you guys to have these tangible things that you can go and take with you. I believe it starts with understanding psychology. And without boring it enough, because it is early, there's a psychological build that really takes a notion of taking a person that is unconsciously incompetent. Anybody have any idea what that is? Show of hands. Unconsciously incompetent. Basically, you don't know what you're doing. We all start at an unconsciously incompetent level when we engage in something new. Now, why are we talking psychology at 7 in the morning? Right? It's not supposed to be a book. It's important to understand why we do what we do when we engage with difficulty, when we engage with challenges. And it's a 5-wheel model. We're not going to talk about the 5-wheel. I'm just going to get 2 points of it to go ahead and make life simple, but it's going to go ahead and hone into today's conversation. The next portion of it is, well, first and foremost, unconsciously incompetent. It's like you go through a honeymoon stage. We're all in high school, right? And you meet something out, you hold your hand, you sit with him, and everything's great. And, oh, this girl doesn't stink, or oh, she's just an apple of my eye. And over a period of time, the relationship ends, the honeymoon stage goes. Then you enter into a whole new cycle, which is consciously incompetent. Now you know what you did that night. Alright? Hold those 2 terms in the back of your head for a second. I'm going to come back to it. Again, the importance of you talking about this is to give you an understanding of why we do what we do, why we do what we do. And as I was introducing, serial entrepreneurs by nature, we have ADD, we're mixed up, we have a little twitch in the morning that we have to take a little pills for. We're just not natural type of people. We see the world a little different. But what I do believe, what we're going to teach today is a few key tools that we can take with us. And maybe not the twitch, but but some things that you guys can go ahead and use on a day-to-day basis. So, at the point of being consciously incompetent, and that's really what most of us are today. You know things that you don't know. You're experiencing, be it schoolwork, you're experiencing different things, be it athletics, and now you're realizing how much work has to go into these type of things. You start to think, gee, this sugar MST is really hard. I know this morning, you put it together, sugar MST. It still was a Catholic school, so I'm not going to run together. For those that are late, we'll talk about it afterwards. But you really start to understand the expectations that go into hard work and getting accomplished what you're setting out to do. This is where you need to develop a mental toughness about yourself. This is where you need to go ahead and roll up your sleeves, because that honeymoon stage of being unconsciously incompetent is no longer. A lot of you right here will probably be faced with three options when we talk things out. The options are really easy. Anybody want to guess the options? Don't be vouched by phones for it. Anybody? You go there. What do you think the three options are? Varsity 11, smile. Come on, it's three options. If you're faced with a challenge, what options can you do? Quit. You can quit. That's one option. You can become addicted. That's another option, right? Or you can roll up your sleeves with dog-like tenacity. You fight to get the thing accomplished. You can go ahead and focus on the perseverance, right? Now, quitting. I don't think any of us here are quitters, at least we try not to be. Dog-like tenacity. How many people are facing difficult tasks and just have to roll up their sleeves? Show of hands. There's a third one that I like to talk about, and that is playing the role of victim. A victim is a very unique type of individual. Does anybody want to give me an idea what a victim is? And I'm tying that all back into perseverance, trust me. A victim is a person that walks through life and life will bring other people to the problems. I didn't know that. You know what? I didn't have practice. Teaching life. I'm sure we can all think of some big mentalities that we've all said in the past. You know, if I was tall, if I was fast, if I was quick. It's that if notion. This is one of the biggest Achilles heels that we can face as potential successful people, is putting the victim role. And the moment that we realize that we are 100% accountable for everything that happens to us, we can go ahead and get out of the victim mentality. Now, this is not to say that we have no control over the things that we don't have control over. I get that. There's certain things that happen to us in life we have no control. However, I am a firm believer what we do have control over is how we process the outcome. So it's more than 90-10. 10% of the things that happen in the world, just because we have no control over it. But the 90% is what differentiates us from successful people and or having those three options. Now, I have a couple of work through it. I see cold work. You don't mess up your hair, you're just so dressed. You have no control of it, right? But what you do have control of is how you respond to it. Now, you can yell at a kid, you can pick up something, throw it at me, you can say all types of expletives. You are totally in control of that emotion, right? It's not an easy thing. Because in business and life, things happen. We get upset. We face obstacles. But it's the character on how we deal with these options that really differentiates us and helps define our success. See, a victim wants to blame everyone else for the problems. They don't want to do some tough things that I say really lead to them. Like holding the mirror up and looking at yourself and being blatantly honest. Victims blame everyone for their external and internal issues. You can probably look to the left, look to the right, probably see some victims in the crowd. It's not a static state. And the reason why we talk about the whole psychological makeup in the very beginning is whenever we encounter something new, we consciously encounter it. We don't know what we don't know. But it's that next stage where we become consciously incompetent, where we can fall into that victim role. And that's when that tenacious persistence, that perseverance really needs to come into play. Now, as you guys go through the study, as you guys go through life, you're going to face some obstacles. And in fact, some of you will fall into the victim role. And victims are pretty kind. They learn to lie to themselves, they're honest, and they will stay away from the mirror because they don't want to face reality. Now, we all have bad days. I probably made more mistakes by me than most people made in their lives. But it is a true character on how we do what we do when we're coming and learning and dealing with issues that I'm putting that seat on. Alright, so people all see how this okay. I believe this all starts with a few things. First and foremost, your thoughts. Your thoughts, these are funny things. How many people in probably have had negative self-talk? Oh man, you know what? Oh, I should have done this. We all do, we all beat ourselves up. But with your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits. Your habits will eventually become your identity. Understand what I just said? It starts with a thought, then it's verbalized. Then you enact it, then you enact it, then you enact it. It becomes habit forming. Once it becomes habit forming, that's who you are. Good, bad, or indifferent. So if you are up to taking a challenge and facing things really face to face and meeting challenges when they occur, you don't play the victim role, you don't quit, you don't run from adversity. Your character starts to become defined. I got a question. I normally ask people this when I do an interview, but I think it's a good idea. There's no right or wrong answer to this question. Do you love to win or do you hate to lose? Take a second, think about it. I'm going to ask for a show of hands. How many people love to win? Raise your hand. How many people hate to lose? Amen. Now understand, there is no right or wrong answer to this question. However, it's about a belief system. Now see, I practiced earlier, but I had issues. Remember I talked about Twitch and the ADD line and stuff, right? Me personally, I hate to lose. See, I engage in everything I expect to. There's no option for what I engage. Losing, however, although I've lost a lot, it's a mindset. It's how we look at things. Again, there's no right or wrong answer because it's 6 on one side, half a dozen the other. But I want you to really reflect on that and try to really do you love the winner or you hate to lose? Our mission is no plan B. The definition of failure means quit. And obviously that's not an option. It's never an option. If you fall, you get up. If you get knocked down 10 times, stand up 11. These are traits and the things that those that persevere continue to do day in and day out. You must unconsciously believe that you can fight anything on 2 legs, God not going to feel on 4 legs. My grandfather used to have a little saying, "Need a bear to fight 4 iron can save a bear." Now that's a little silly, but in a true sense, you have to have a belief system that you have a non-quit or stick-to-it, if there's such a word, attitude. And in life, I learned that you have to eat, live, and breathe what you believe. There's another saying that I'll go ahead and store on you guys. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but very few people are going to die. In essence, in its true sense, a lot of people say they want to be successful, but very few of us are willing to pay the price and make the sacrifices that it's going to take to become successful. Now, I got you. You guys would never got me at 7 o'clock. This is what Lord speaker, or we're always very short. But nonetheless, that's the first step into finding your own success. How many people really want to be successful? Raise your hand. Now, the question that you have to ask yourself, are you really willing to pay the price in order to obtain that success? And as we have to hold the mirror up to our face and ask ourselves a serious questions, are we being true to ourselves? Are we being a victim and lying about it? Again, it's a full circle, goes back. I once heard an individual give a speech, and it caught me a little while there. They used an analogy that really hit home. They compared a successful business person with a crackhead. Not saying look at it like this. I want you to focus on this. A person has a drug addiction. I'm not playing with those drug addictions. I want to go ahead and tie it together. They wake up every ounce and waking moment of their addiction. They're focused on one thing and one thing only. How are they going to do the next place, right? It's an unfortunate situation. But the level of focus, determination, and commitment is parallelism. Now, it's a far extreme, but in early morning when you go to church. But it's no different from your success that you want to define. Live it, breathe it, learn it, make it become you. Remember, your thoughts, your actions, your words, habits become your identity. I see a lot of varsity development. How many people fit football? Any guys? Okay. Track and field. I see a lot of student athletes. Boise State football team has a slogan that they use. It's called "Love the Grind." And I often use that because it's relatively beautiful. How many people know what love the grind means? Anybody? Picked on you earlier. Hard work. Pass it around. Understand, you student athletes, how long is game day? Hours, 2 hours? It's short, right? How long is practice? How many of us like working in 95-degree heat, sweating out, lifting the weights? I don't see any hands, huh? But you have to understand how much preparation do we put in to achieve what we want to get out. Unless we truly find a passion and love doing what we do, game time is not right. It's not about the game. It's about the journey and the ride that we do in order to play the game. And when I first heard that, love the grind, it hit me like a splash of cold water. Because I was a student athlete. I played football, I ran track, and 4-year varsity level. And I used to hate the grind. Suicides, no recessions, I mean, it was just or two get to game day. And that's important. It really is. A two that I got there showing, I had a coach, Jimmy Buell. And I have to say, my football team is the Capitals and playoffs in the middle. But he would have us sit on our back, close our eyes before a game, and do something they call visualization. He would say, visualize what you're going to do in game. Visualize that big hit. Visualize running the route on your butt. Now, you can't. At first, I thought he was a little crazy, right? He's sitting with your bags on, with your eyes closed after practice. I was trying to go sleep. But the more we went ahead and started visualizing, I realized it works. So as we talk about becoming successful, we talk about those things that we want to achieve. In order to achieve it, you have to first initially visualize it. You have to believe. It goes back to that belief system we talked about earlier. And through visualization, you need a lot of courage. But again, it's the notion of truly being honest with yourself and asking yourself the serious questions. We talked about big ones earlier. It's important as we engage in this real self-talk that I'm talking about, that we do not let what we cannot do interfere with what we can do. I'm going to make another stretch. There was a boxer in the 70s, which was before my time. But everyone knows about Muhammad Ali, right? Before the guy named Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier was a short guy, ugly, he didn't have any style, definitely didn't have Muhammad Ali's charisma. Didn't have any finesse, definitely didn't have a jab. What he had was a mean gangster look. Okay? He became heavyweight champion of the world with this look. Now, most of us focus on our weaknesses. I bet you if I ask, show hands, how many people know these 5 weaknesses? Show hands. How many people know these 10 strengths? Less hands. When I'm going to propose on my right, start focusing, ladies and gents, on how we can exploit our strengths. Now, I'm not proposing that we ignore our weaknesses, but all too long, as those that want to be successful, we really focus on the things that we cannot do. Now, what good is that? Why are we having this negative self-talk on all the things that we can't do? There was a poem. Somebody said it could be done with you with trouble with why. Maybe it couldn't be until I be one who says I try. The point that I'm making here is we can go ahead and think of 2,001 different excuses of why we can't. Go back to the whole victim mentality. But there's distinct, unique strengths within all of us that we can continue to develop. We can go ahead and continue to leverage and have them become the pillar of our strength. Now, as we go through life, we'll go ahead and continue working on these bad habits. We'll continue to work on ourselves. But I really want, as a lesson learned, to have us at least start looking in the mirror and identifying some true strengths. Hey, I can get the gap. Hey, I do well in this particular situation. Hey, my writing, I have strong writing ability. Whatever your strength is, we have to start now exploiting these strengths. You have to start honing and bettering yourself and strengthening up your strengths, as well as working on your weaknesses. But as a student, a lifelong student, and a continuous student, I realize that it's just important to not just look at our weaknesses, but to go ahead and hone in the strengths as well. Now again, I'm not advocating go to school today and go, oh, I'm going to go ahead and study English or government. That's weakness. We're not going to look at that. is I see a lot of potential. I see a lot of young minds that really can go ahead and do almost anything that you guys want to do. Today's conversation on perseverance, there's a fine line with understanding what perseverance is, with understanding the true compassion and conviction of hard work. Because when you persevere, nothing gets in the way. There's really not much difference with me and anyone else that you can see out in the community. The only difference is, from my perspective, I have a very warped sense of commitment. I'm willing to die from a commitment perspective for the things that I engage in. If we got on the treadmill, we're competing on the treadmill, one or two things are going to happen. You're going to quit and get tired, or I'm going to die in the treadmill because I'm not quitting. Quitting is never an option. So when you're engaged, when you have passion, when you really believe in what you're obtaining, what you're out and set out to do, that perseverance, that stick-to-itiveness, it should become your identity. Regardless of what the activity or the event, you have to put your thumb on everything you touch. Any questions? I get the question, how did I go from struggling here at Shrine to being lit up and caught on fire and driving back? That's a good question. Very good question. Remember I asked earlier if you love winter hills? I hate this. I really do. I hate this. I have a lot of thoughts, and I've learned here at Shore, as well as the afterlife, that I can't focus on the things I cannot do. I can't focus on my weaknesses. I cannot allow my weaknesses to hold me down like a anchor, right? I got to start focusing like when we're talking about Joe Frazier. I got to get rid of it. And that's the only thing I have. I can go ahead and make that anyway. If the world is telling me what I cannot do, I got to go ahead and be that bumblebee. Because bumblebees, from a physics perspective, aren't supposed to be able to fly, right? But they somehow manage to fly. I got to go ahead and do the things that people are not focused on. But we all have strengths. And I got to explore the strengths. That was the starting point. Where I was told I would not be able to get to school. I was told to go and get a trade. I was determined at that point to show them different. And once I got into school, believe it or not, I got a lot of help with my writing and things of that nature. I initially wrote for the school newspaper, Western Herald, and borderline journalist of all things. And diagnosed with writing disability, reading and writing disability. It's that burning desire inside you that I've got to treadmill. It is what it is. You just have to have passion. But if that's the start of it. Any other questions? You guys are way too busy. Play basketball. You like the way I got my hair? It's a barber. When I was here, I had a big afro with a little pizza. I think the real eye-opening was when I was here and I got to really told me, good trade. Good trade. Not good trade, no college. I'm really sitting here as a money good trade. At that point, I realized in my junior year that I had a couple decisions. And by the way, my senior year, I had a 3.8 grade average. But my junior year, I had a 1.4. Try to get this place. And the reason why I got in college is just basic because I held 3.8. So I honestly believe at different times of people's lives, within people's lives, certain things, certain people come in and out of their life. And it's hearing your parents' voice in the background, the nagging or just be a whisper, and a life-changing moment happens. and something can be replaced. For me as a counselor, there's a fear of having your options. It was fear of failure. Today, to this day, I still have fear of failure. I don't fail. I'll work, I'll sleep, I literally rewrote the speech today because I didn't like the speech that I had earlier. I wanted to not go ahead and more extra stuff. I don't know. It's that conviction that burned something inside you that you got to dig deep and look within and say, how can I go ahead and plan and be as quick as possible? So I think that is a good question. But there's a combination of things there. Any other questions?
Two things here.
Those from Google, over 5 years. And McDonald was a drafting teacher, he was a business teacher, and to this day, he gave us something here, I still remember some of his words. Business is an activity which has towards the end of goods and services usually for a profit. It just never got out of there. Remember that? Usually for profit. There you go. And you guys have that. Certain individuals touch on your life, certain individuals get thrown under your finger. And it's not until you need to draw from that positive energy that the individuals are trying to provide for you to go ahead and realize that it was really felt within your life that aided you into the situation that you face. Any questions?
The part of mine was after you left trying anything that you would say your greatest
Greatest influence or accomplishment? I mean, you can answer that. Really, my greatest accomplishment is being a father and parenting does something to this. This is a whole different conversation, but it gives us the understanding that there's something greater in life than yourself. And other than parenting and being a husband, being a leader of ministry, being a leader of people, when individuals count on you to create the livelihood, when individuals look at you and tell you about the kids going to college, getting braces, there's a greater sense of responsibility other than yourself. And I take it personally. I really do. I hold it to heart. And I try to create goods and services. I try to create environments that not only better the individuals that are working with me, my team members, but also better the community interaction. So those are the things that are somewhat helpful to us. Any other questions? I'll open it up a little sooner so you can play a little dodgeball. Never falls to the big one. I'll come to the big one for you. I come here. I'm going to raise it with you. No, listen, you have to understand. The whole victim mentality, we fall in and out of this. It's something that's natural. Very few of us want to look in the mirror and talk about our inadequacies. Very few of us want to accept. We all have bad days. The true test of character, and that first verse that we talked about, is how we deal with it and how we overcome that situation. You get knocked down, how quickly you get up off that. So I work at it. One of the things, the only reason why I mentioned that whole psychological earlier is it gives us a little notion that it's important to understand why we do what we do. It does not mean that we won't fall back into that particular trap. It does not mean that I won't have a victim mentality, but what it does mean is I'll be able to identify it a lot quicker to get you from that stage and you move on to another stage. So no, I sometimes play victim, and my wife and probably took out the victim quite a bit when I was sick with the cold. But it's across the board. But it's the importance of understanding when we are playing victim, or when we are playing victim, that we are accountable for 100% of our responses to outcomes. I don't know other words, I'm not going to be able to test it very well.
You came out trying to these both very different today. You have some insight, recommendations for him. Maybe thinking about school, the way they approach college.
I agree. And I would encourage, regardless of the field of study, and the world has changed lots of years. We have cell phones, payphones, computers are huge. Actually, pages are still around. So there's a lot of differences. But from a career perspective, I'll get it from career and I get it from personal. I would engage in learning how to sell. And let me explain. In business, you're always in the business. I don't care if you're selling a product, making a product. I don't care if you're going to be an administrative assistant. I don't care if you're going to be the leader of industry. You're always in the people business. People drive products, goods, and services. Now, with that, learning how to sell, you're always selling yourself. You're selling yourself a resume. If you're fortunate to get into a business environment, you're selling a prospectus, you're always selling as well. I would really challenge everyone to take a couple of sales courses and or go out and try to sell something. And I would also challenge you to dig a little deeper on human behavior. Because those are two things that drive whatever real world activity we're going to have on the job market. It's going to be people, the understanding of people, and the ability to sell yourself and or sell someone. It all starts with those two things. People argue all that manufacturing and the mutual that somebody has to sell to somebody. And understanding why people do what they do is extremely important. Because be it working in a group, be it working in an individual, be it working in a team environment, you're going to deal with people. And by better understanding people, better understanding the whole psychological makeup of yourself, you'll be looking at the world from 3,000 aerial view versus going along the rat race and just following the crowd. Because the ultimate goal is to get people to want to do what you want to do. Any other questions? Oh, you know what? When I went to college, I was 17. So I was young. I was a 17-year-old, very, very mature. Just happy to be in college. I chose engineering because I thought it was a stable base. To this day, I don't know what I'm going to be when I have Peter Pan syndrome. I remember that whole story entrepreneurial thing. I wasn't joking when I said I had ADD. I chose engineering because I thought it was a solid base. And if something happened, I could fall back and have a decent career. The important thing that I would say tongue in cheek without the parents yelling and kicking and screaming at me is try to find something where your vocation and application can be one and the same. In other words, if you truly love doing whatever it is it really a job? It becomes part of you. And by having that passion for what you do, because they're not one and the same, makes life a heck of a lot easier. Do not chase money. Once you identify a passion for something, money will come. Because you'll be the best at what you do. So when I was in school, I had no idea. did engineering, realized I didn't like being in the private sector. When I went to GM, it wasn't cool. Not cool at all. And then I went